Coming up on the Frickin' Frack Show, better known as the Nice Guys on Business.
I don't know that I want to know more about Rick. I think he's like the mystery guy on the show. I kind of like that. We wouldn't want Rick like getting mobbed at the grocery store, because everybody gets to know who he is and everything. He likes his anonymity, I think.
More anonymous than the Federal Witness Protection Program. It's the Nice Guys on Business. Need an education on how to grow your business? The Nice Guys are here to help. Learn about great customer service, networking, and how just being nice can help you prosper. Now, here are your hosts, Doug Sandler and Strickland Bonner.
Hey, welcome back, Funkin' fans, ladies, gentlemen. My name is Strickland Bonner. On the other side of the microphone, Mr. Doug Sandler, and we have a special guest today. Hey, I can't even speak now. How you doing, Randy?
I'm doing good. You built it up as if this Randy special guest is somebody important.
Mr. Randall Kenneth Jones. If you missed the interview last Monday, you got to go back and listen to it because it is just ridiculously funny.
Total ridiculousness. And can I just start from the beginning, Randy, by just saying total fuckery? Is that possible? Is that okay?
You can do that. Yeah. No, actually, if we let's hashtag that for me. That total fuckery can now be my new hashtag.
I love it. I love it. So Randy, we're excited to have you back. I mean, I was reading after you left. Normally I would read our guest's book before they come on the show, but for some reason I didn't get it in the mail until after our interview. And then I saw such a lovely note that you wrote to me about thanking me for being a truly a nice guy. Obviously, you did not know me before you wrote that note. So, and then I started reading your book, and I'm like, holy shit, you really have had some nice guy community. The book is called Show Me, and it's full of celebrity interviews, business tycoons, rock stars, journalists, humanitarians. I mean, all sorts of people that are at fame and infamous level. And I thought I'd have to have you back on the show. So here you are, Randy. Welcome back.
Well, and I can talk nonstop, so we're good. I'm pretty.
Doug's always worried about running out of topics.
My question about the book. I mean, again, we don't want to rehash the interview that we did. Nice Guy Community. Go back and just do a search for what episode was it, Strick? Do you know?
Oh God, now I got to pull it up. It was
Randy,
last Monday.
Do you know what episode it was?
I don't know. 468. I'm going to guess, and I don't even know if that's right.
I don't know either. Well, wait, Strick, you can come up with it quickly, can't you? Or no?
Yeah, I gotta look it up now.
Okay.
Or we can take 20 minutes looking for an episode number.
No. So Nice Guy Community, go back and find the episode with Randall Kenneth Jones. And
452.
452. I was close.
No, you weren't even close, Randy. You were fucking like 17 off. That's like 3 weeks
like
off.
462 or something. He just got one number wrong.
I was within 100. I'm happy with that.
You're no longer an interview subject. You're now one of the guys that's here on the show with us. I can do whatever I want, right? So the question is, how did you land all of these amazing interviews on the show? I mean, on your book.
Well, the thing that helped the most is early on I met a gentleman named Phil Booth, who was the former president of Good Morning America, and he got me in front of Regis Philbin. He got me in front of Jack Hanna. There was another really cool one very early on. I'm an actor, as you know, I'm a part-time actor, and I've been on stage all my life, and I was doing a show at a theater here. And there was a guy working on the show, and he and his wife were lovely and everything, and I find out later, this guy working backstage on this show is Jack McKinney, Magic Johnson's first professional basketball coach. He was the former head coach of the LA Lakers. And it hit me, everyone in Naples, Florida, all these retirees and people who come here just for their second home, there's stories everywhere. And I'm freaking out. So actually, within the first few months, I also talked to Magic Johnson about him. I talked to Bill Walton. Now, I am not athletic. Oh, no. But I'm tall. And so when Bill Walton, who was a hoops hero of enormous magnitude in the 70s, when I actually thought I was going to play basketball, called me back, I was freaking out. That was like my first celebrity callback. And he called me back to talk to me about Jack McKinney. So I was very lucky with Phil Booth kind of getting the ball rolling and having a few people that were significant enough that I was pretty well established, that I was getting good people early on. Now that doesn't mean a whole lot of people didn't blow me off, because a whole lot of people blew me off.
No. Well, we hear you like being blown off, so it's fine. You know what I'm saying. So we decided to have Randy come back, not just as a guy that's going to share a couple of these stories, but we had decided to have him come back and create a whole new little fun segment to the Nice Guy community called Show Me More. So, Randy, do you want to give just like a little thumbnail sketch of what it will be about? Can you do it brief? Can you do anything brief,
Can I do
Randy?
anything brief? How long is today's show? No, actually, because I've done a lot of 4-minute segments, I actually had to get used to it. No, I mean, what a blessing to be able to do it. And I think I was incredibly lucky in the first place because, let's call it what it is. I'm a big nobody. So the fact that all these people talk to me at all was extraordinary, but a lot of them have been very, very good to me. And I really discovered the whole process of talking to people and actively listening to them and trying to learn from them and then disseminate that information in the book was like a drug. And so as to be able to take this and use this platform, which I admire so much, and expand it, I will say, and a lot of the people I've talked to before, I'll go to again and ask again, but I'm going to go to brand new people. I do tend to do a little bit more of a blend of personal and professional development because in my mind, I don't really see a difference. I'm the same difference. I'm the same person at home and at work. And I also kind of come at it from an everybody works standpoint. So I'm not so much C-suite corner office. I'm Carl Edwards from NASCAR, and I'm Cassie DePaiva from daytime television, and I'm Eddie Mecca, Carmine the Big Ragu from Laverne and Shirley.
Oh my gosh! Hey, Strick, looking at the list of all the guys and girls that he has had a chance to interview, anyone that stands out in your mind as oh my gosh, I would love to have another chance to have a couple of words or hear from that person again?
Well, we talked in the intro to the interview last week about Pat Benatar. I mean, I'm a big rock and roll guy. Pat Benatar, and in fact, I think I told the story that Neil Giraldo played guitar on Jesse's Girl, that most people don't know that. And, the two of them have been together for, 30, 40 years or something ridiculous. I mean, he started out as her guitar player, and basically they fell in love and got married, and they've been together ever since. And that's amazing. And Randy, I know you were saying that, you've got long ties with Pat Benatar.
I've known her a long time. Did we tell this story? I don't want to repeat it, but
we did. We told it on Monday, but yeah, you can go back to the Monday episode.
Yeah, go back to Monday, but I've known her for a long time, and to be able to reconnect with her when I met her in 1982, 33 years later, and Pat and Spider, Neil owns his Spider. That's what he goes by. Pat. Spider,
is that right? I didn't know that.
Yeah, Spider are such incredibly good people. I mean, just good people. So yeah, I'd love to have her back too, because I would actually be happy to talk to her every single day. So
love it.
Yeah, she's pretty amazing. I'm certainly going to ask her.
Cool.
Well, we're definitely looking forward to having this segment on the show. And some of the notes that I had written about you that I don't think we shared necessarily last Monday when we did the interview together. One of them was, which really caught my eye, was that for most part, every time you're doing an interview, you're on drugs. Is that correct? Tell me a little bit about that.
I'm a little hyper. I'm almost. I'm on September 13th.
Oh wait, Strick's going to have to beep
that out. I'm just going to beep it out. It's all right. It's okay.
So, but I'm still a little hyper, a little high strung. And I'm sorry, but you put me in front of Vanessa Williams, and yeah, I'm going to be freaking out. You put me in front of Pat Benatar, I'm going to be freaking out. Susie Orman, who are my
oh my
Xanax
gosh,
interviews.
I can't imagine interviewing Susie Orman and trying to share or ask any question about finance or about anything that related to budget without just being completely scared that the question is just going to sound completely idiotic. Like, why the hell would you ask that question?
She actually, I was talking to, I went to something, they invited us over to the coast where they live on the East Coast. And I told her my dream interviews were Oprah, Dolly, and the Pope. And I told her, I said, if I ever met Oprah, Susie, I want to really talk to her about the fact that the hero worship. How does she deal with the fact? I mean, there's so much love for Oprah, and people gush over her all the time. And I actually do want to know what that does to you. If I were that loved, but that's a lot of pressure to have that much love coming to you. And she nodded her head, and then she walked away, and she came back to me 2 minutes later. She goes, Randy, if you ever meet Oprah, don't ask her that. That's a really stupid question.
Yeah, like that's the kind of stuff that I would probably find myself putting my foot in my mouth every time I'm saying something like that, because it'd be like an idiotic question to ask somebody of that level.
Yeah. No, I mean, the thing is, no, she got a heart of gold. And I think when you're one-on-one with her and see where it all comes from, I mean, she studied to be a social worker. And my daughter was studying to be a social worker at the same time. And if you kind of understand that that's where it all came from, there's a true, sincere drive to help people and a true frustration at why they make bad decisions. There's a heart of gold there. And as soon as you see that, I don't think until you experience her firsthand that you absolutely can understand just how powerful that is at really motivating who she is. But I was scared shitless. Oh, and she yelled at me. You know how she literally, she gave me a compliment, and I sort of brushed it off because it was such an extraordinary compliment. I didn't know what to do. And she came back and she was like, you just blew off my compliment. It's the best compliment you're going to get today. And I thought, well, it's the best one I've gotten like in the last 5 years. But, the quote was something like, if we deny ourselves our own greatness, we can't accept our potential. I'm totally paraphrasing that. But when the first interview is on the phone, and I'm on the phone, there's like tears in my eyes going, Susie Orman is yelling at me.
Yeah.
This is the coolest thing that has ever happened to me in my entire life, because I'd seen her do it over and over again. But then that's where I saw the love. And
it's kind of like being on the Oprah's Favorite Things show. It's very similar. If you get to be yelled at either by who's it, Guy Fieri? Is that his name? The chef guy? Is that who it is, Strick?
Yeah, he's one of the chefs. Is he on that? I don't know if he's on
No. Is he one of the guys that yells at you when you're in the middle of doing? Who's the chef?
Gordon Ramsay does.
Gordon
a lot of
Ramsay.
that.
Right,
Yeah.
right. That's right. So it's like being yelled at by Susie Orman is kind of like being on the Oprah Favorite Things show and being yelled at by Gordon Ramsay. That's the way I'm looking at it.
It was and she did it again, because when I saw her in person, she kind of knew. I said, I liked it when you yelled at me. And so she did it again, like in a hotel lobby with my husband and kids watching with their mouth open. She just, and this one wasn't kind of real. This one was for show, but I was like, bring it, Orman, bring it. And she did. She yelled at me in a hotel. It was the best. Bucket list for everyone. Again, bucket list. Have Susie Orman yell at you. It is awesome.
Noted. So the format of the way that we're thinking about doing this, and we haven't really worked out all of the details, as you know, Nice Guy community, if you're listening to this show, the one thing that you do know about us is there's absolutely no focus going on. Is that
We're not
correct,
detail
Strickland?
guys at all.
Not detail. So get this. So
Focus,
Randy and I,
guys, focus.
right? Exactly. So Randy and I are.
Focus.
Yeah. Thank you, Mar. So Randy and I are having this preliminary conversation just about, okay, how we're going to do this. And Randy is definitely what are you? You're a Virgo, right, Randy?
Oh my God! You look up Virgo in the dictionary, and my picture's there.
Yeah. So we're having this conversation, and Randy's asking me all the details about it, and I'm like, and I know he's been a listener to the show long enough to know probably don't ask Doug about details, because I don't have any idea. But he's throwing details at me, and he's trying to figure out the who, what, when, where, how, and why, and I'm like, I don't fucking have any idea how or why. I just love the idea of having you on the show. And so then in spite of that, then he starts sending me, sorry, Randy, I don't mean to throw you under the bus here at all.
No, the bus, bring it. Bring the bus. Yeah, I'm good.
So now the email chain starts to come, and I'm like, holy fuck, Randy, just stop sending me emails. I got like 17 emails with all the details of information about how he's going to do stuff for the show. And I'm like, this is good, delete. This is good, delete. I'm like, I got to talk. I want Randy to bring all this information fresh. Just create it. I love it. What you're all about is totally cool. Love the idea. I know you kind of understand what you're going to do. I don't need to know. It's like mommy and daddy don't need to know everything. just do it. And
imagine what it was like to be my parents, though. I mean, seriously. No, I was the kid that would do something wrong, and I would come home and confess it so quickly that I just did this wrong. Mom and Dad, I just robbed this 7-Eleven. I hope you don't mind. And they would feel so bad that I did it that I never got in trouble, because I came in and kind of confessed right away and went to bed. So,
can we talk a little bit about your armed robbing experience? Is that true?
By what experience?
Your armed robbery experience? Is that true?
Oh, no.
Oh, all right. I was just making sure that you did not actually rob a 7-Eleven.
Yeah.
No, that happened when he was a juvenile, and those records have been expunged. So we're just going to pretend it didn't happen.
All good. So, Strick, what's the? I know you're new into the equation here, since Randy and I just kind of shared a lot of this information with you in the last couple of weeks. What's your idea? What do you think would be a good plan to have? How do you think we should? What do you think the format should be? How do we lay this out?
Well, I don't know. We haven't really decided yet. I mean, it's either going to be like, once a month or so, maybe you'll replace one of our regular weekly episodes, or we might do it as a bonus. But I love the idea. I love the people that you have access to, and that, you have the ability to interview, and it's very different from a lot of the, kind of straight up business leaders that we talk about. I like the variety. I absolutely want to do it. We just got to figure out where to put it. And, you come up with the material and we'll figure out where to post it.
Yeah. I play the cards I'm dealt. As much as I love to plan, and I think we're well established about that now, I also understand when I sit down and interview somebody, I'm going to play the cards I'm dealt. And if they go down this path, I got to go there. Because frankly, if they go down a path that's important to them, and I want to follow them. So, and it's not that the interview is going to last forever. My thing is, I want them to be different. I really don't want to be telling the same story over and over and over again. And I want to kind of, and I also find that everybody works. That was my point all along. But I found that people who typically aren't asked about business practices and ethics and values and things like that love to be asked about that stuff. Mm-hmm. I'll tell you, I'll give you an example. That's so much of the focus of my time with Pat Benatar and Neil Giraldo. And I asked Pat, I said, has anybody really ever asked you, how you run this business? She went, never.
Oh my God, I would love to hear that story. Yeah. So next time you talk to her, you can do that.
Yeah.
Randy, I wouldn't worry about the structure. Like, I know you're a little concerned about like the time and how long it's going to be. Look, as long as it's not like Tim Ferriss 2.5 hour episode, we don't really care. 20 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour. It's no big deal. As long as it doesn't run past 2 hours, it just doesn't matter.
Well, we were laughing because I've already, now the one tease, and I don't want to say who because I don't want to blow up in my face, a beloved sitcom person is already agreed. So we got a beloved sitcom person from the past.
Who shall remain unnamed at this time.
Guess I don't want to jinx it. I mean, I'm sure it'll happen, but I don't want to jinx it. But I was laughing too. I was saying, I have Aaron Brockovich.
Oh, I'm sorry. I got distracted. I was humming something. Didn't really. I don't know why that song came into my head. I don't know why that song came into my head. I can totally mute that out in the final edit if you want.
There's a plaid bus that's rolling through my court right now.
Oh, okay, that was good. Okay, you win that round. That was pretty good.
I have an idea though. I think we should put this out to one person specifically that might be able to give us some advice, because we keep following his advice from week to week. Rick, if you could just do us a favor, send us an email. Let us know what you think about the Randy segment. Now, we can't guarantee we're going to listen to you, but we certainly will be entertained.
Rick doesn't email. He voicemails.
Did I say email? I didn't mean email. I meant voicemail.
No, I'm pretty hot to get Rick on my show, part of the show.
We do have a new voicemail from Rick today, by the way.
We do?
Well, we have two, so we have one for today, and we'll say one for Thursday.
Oh, that's gonna be great. Yeah, Randy, if you can figure out, we have no idea. Rick does not reach out to us on any other platform other than voicemail, so we don't know his email, we don't know his phone number, we don't know his Twitter or any other handle for him other than, hey, it's Rick. So if you can do a little sleuthing for us and find out who Rick is, that would be great.
Oh yeah, that's it. Yeah, I'll do that. I'm all over it. I'm on it.
Look, I got to tell you,
I'll use all my contacts.
I don't know that I want to know more about Rick. He's kind of like the unknown comic, right?
Yeah,
and he's just. I like his anonymity. Kind of. I don't think we want to know more about him. I think he's like the mystery guy on the show. I kind of like that.
Yeah. I don't debate that. I think you're probably correct. But does the unknown comic, did he ever do interviews, or did he only do his routine?
I think he occasionally did interviews. I mean, it wasn't like he was ever an A-list celebrity. A guy comes on the Gong Show and wears a bag over his head. For those of you who are not, freaking old like we are and don't remember, But yeah, I think he did, and he did them like with the bag over his head. It's kind of like Kiss with the makeup, right?
Yes,
Until the 80s.
Oh my God! Get out of my head! Get out of my fucking head! That's
right.
exactly what I was going to say. Kind of like Kiss.
We wouldn't want Rick like getting mobbed at the grocery store, because everybody gets to know who he is and everything. He likes his anonymity, I think.
Very true. Very true. So, Randy, we are excited to have the segment with you. Again, we don't know exactly how we're going to roll this out in terms of when do you think the first interview is going to be? Is it coming up? So this show is airing on Tuesday. So any idea when you might have an interview coming up?
Yeah, I've got one this week.
Really?
Actually, we'll be recording one this week. I ordered all of the equipment to be able to do more. The truckloads will be delivering in the next week.
So Strick, just off the record, so that you should see a slight bump in our Amazon account this week then.
Oh, nice. Very nice. Did you order a glass enclosed studio for your?
I did. Absolutely. Yeah. Because,
Oh, it's amazing. And even in sharing some of the content that we've had on the Nice Guys on Business podcast with Randy, he's like, hey, Jeffrey Gittimer, he was a huge inspiration for me. I've actually had conversations with him, he's telling me. And I'm like, everybody that I've interviewed pretty much, Randy has had a connection with at some point, including the fact that Randy used to live right in our backyard in Northern Virginia.
I know, it's crazy. I'm looking at his little bio here, a little tiny, ridiculously long, incredibly detailed bio.
17
because
paragraphs
he is that
bio.
type A personality. It's all good. So his son works in Tyson's in the film department, and then your daughter is in Reston,
She's in Reston,
for those of you who don't know, that's like suburbs of Northern Virginia, which is right near us.
And shout out to Leesburg. I lived in Leesburg, Virginia I lived in Sterling, which of course we had to call it Cascades, and then I lived in Leesburg.
It's a wine country.
Yeah, and then I lived in Leesburg. I love Leesburg. Actually, my office was actually in a haunted building in Leesburg, Virginia, for years.
They're all haunted because
I'll say to you, things flew off shelves usually with 2 and 3 people in the room. It's not like one person hallucinating. No, there was usually more than one person in there. We were on the Leesburg ghost tour and it was great. But I will say, little tip: don't yell at a ghost, because I did that once and it didn't go well. And I'll leave it at that. Don't yell at one, because I thought I was holding my ground, and I ran out of that building so fast. There was like 40 stairs to get down, and I think I hit 10 of them. I mean, I was flying out of the building.
Hey, well, Strick, we've done this in fine fashion. We've taken a 2-minute intro segment with Randy, and we've turned it into 23 minutes of content.
I know. You want to stick around while we get to the rest of the show, because we got a show to do today.
Yeah, you want to do whatever you want.
All right, cool.
All right, yeah,
you can hang out.
with
We're
us.
going to get to all the regular crap that we usually get to.
Yeah, feel free to chime in. Anything that you see as unusual, which would be everything.
So I think we have teased it. I think we need to jump into Rick's voicemail.
Oh, yeah, we totally need to do that.
We might as well start with that.
Can we just, because Rick is a fairly new segment on the show that we've been offering for the last 4 or 5 weeks, if you're just tuning in to the Nice Guys on Business podcast, this has now become a pretty regular thing. I think Rick actually does listen to every episode and likes to chime in every once in a while, so we're bringing to you our latest in installments of Rick's voicemail to the Nice Guys.
And if you'd like to leave us a message as well, you can call 4242 DJ Doug. That is country code 1 for those of you who are out of country.
Hold up. We have a new way for people to reach out to the Nice Guy community.
Oh, okay.
That was one of the things I wanted to chat with you about, Strick. This is fucking awesome. Okay, so I have now subscribed to this thing called SpeakPipe. Mm-hmm. And what SpeakPipe is, it's a
Did your brother introduce you to that after he got his medical marijuana? That's what it sounds like.
Yeah, the SpeakPipe.
That's like the brother of the smoke pipe? I don't understand.
Yeah, that's the smoke pipe. That's right. So if you go to DougSandler.com, here, I'm even going to do it right now, DougSandler.com. If you go, that's my homepage. Right on the homepage, under the Inc. Nice Guys on Business featured article, there is a send a message to the Nice Guys. You literally can click the start record button. You don't need to have anything else. You don't even have to call on the phone. You can just hit the start record button. It'll ask you for your name and your email address. Those, I think only one of those things. I think just your name is required, but your email is not, if you don't want us to find out who you are, Rick. And you can actually just start recording right there. It will automatically send us a voicemail message, and it's a high-quality recording, and we will play the message right here on the Nice Guys podcast. So right at my DougSandler.com homepage, just hit the little SpeakPipe little whatever that is. What do you call that? That little banner ad or whatever it is in there. the button that says start
If you
recording.
can find the
and
right banner ad, yeah, because there's so many.
a lot of pop-ups on mine. Yeah, and it's right there. So, okay, so I just wanted to share that with everybody. If you wanted to leave a message, DougSandler.com. Okay.
Right, but Rick, we're not shutting down 4242 DJ
No.
Doug. So if that's
No,
still
no.
your preferred method, you're welcome to continue using that. And we're still working on getting
Yeah.
set up for, what is it? 1-800 call Rick.
4242 call Rick.
Call Rick. We are still working on that, Rick. Don't try it yet. We appreciate your feedback last week. We are still working on trying to get that number. We're in negotiations right now. There's some big company that owns that number, and we're in negotiations.
Are you just is that true?
No, that's our story. We're sticking to it.
Okay. All right. So yeah. Let's hear. This is the latest installment. Rick voicemail.
Here's our
Any
newest Rick
any
voicemail.
setup required or no?
I don't think so. I don't even remember what he said. So let's take
Okay.
a listen, and we'll
All right,
figure
let's
it out
go.
as we're listening, right? All right, here we go.
Hey, Doug, it's Rick again. I forgot to mention, of course you boost drink sales on an airplane recording the podcast. They couldn't stand listening to you anymore, so they say, screw it. Can't beat them, might as well join them.
So
Rick sounded a little angry there.
I think so. Here's what I thought, because I played the message for my wife, and she was cracking up with Rick's voicemail. I think, and I've also played previous voicemails and listened back to them. I think at this point, Rick is trying to do an imitation of Rick.
Right. Like he's trying a little too hard to be Rick. We've built him up too much. He's Rick, be yourself, dude. You're getting a little angry there. And we don't want to tell you how to be Rick, but dude, we love the Rick it's all good, man. It's all good.
I'm going to say here, though, guys, we were making fun of me being on drugs. Okay, that's all. Okay, I want us to get a little perspective on this. I pop a little 0.25 milligram Xanax to do a big interview. Okay, but okay, that's it. I'm done.
I think Rick's going a little further than that. It is truly Rick doing an imitation of Rick. I think it's gone to his head a little bit.
Rick, I want to tell you there are a lot of good decaffeinated brands on the market that taste just as good as the real thing. Okay.
Yeah, very very angry. And Rick, you just while you're doing the message too, could you please just unclench your fists? Because I'm sensing there's a lot of anger going on.
Yeah, so if you didn't listen to last week's show, just a very quick exposition. We did it from the flight at Southwest. I hope we didn't get Matt and David in trouble on the Southwest crew because we love them. But yes, Matt, Doug asked, did we increase drink sales with our podcast that we were doing and bugging the crap out of everybody on the flight? And I'm quite sure we did. Yeah.
Oh, that was a fun episode, and playing the voicemail that Rick did on that episode was also very good too. We didn't really though get into the explanation of what Rick, why he left the message. I mean, was there any other setup other than that?
Who needs setup? Rick just freaking tells us what he thinks. I love that. We don't need a setup or anything.
Yeah, very true. Very true. Very true. Thank you, Rick. Another installment. Wonderful job. We appreciate it.
And we have another one for Thursday.
Oh, we got another. That's right. We do.
I'm saving it though. I don't want to double up on Rick. I mean, come on. We got to spread the good stuff out, right? Come on.
Yeah, that's very true. Hey, Strick, I put out a message to everyone that has been a guest on our show because we are now probably somewhere in the area of about 40 days away from hitting download number 1 million.
So we're going to make it before November 1st, which was our big, hairy, audacious goal?
Yeah, right now, the trajectory that the downloads are going is we're going to hit it somewhere between the 15th and the 25th of October. So we're going to be at least a week, maybe even 2 weeks early on in the process, unless something horrible happens. I have no idea what that would be. Maybe like Libsyn losing our feed, or I have no idea. I don't even want. I shuddered. Sure. I shuddered to think.
Or that Randy tanks your entire podcast. So come on.
See, Randy. See what's great about it is I don't even think that you can bring this down. We're as of the recording of the show, we are at 858,545 downloads, averaging over 96,000. I'm hoping that October will be the first month that we actually go over 100,000 downloads, which would be the same month we actually hit 1 million downloads.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, man, we're on a good path right now. Still 169 countries, 65% of which are Strick. Listen to this. So, because we are mostly on Overcast. By the way, if you're listening on Overcast, just hit the little recommend button. It's right next to the star key. It's it's next to the play key. It's the little star button. Just hit that. That'll recommend our episodes. I've noticed in looking at the stats that we are actually now closer to 94% of our listening audience is listening on Overcast. It's no longer 93%.
That's crazy.
So it's and it's not because our iTunes audience is dropping. It's because our Overcast audience is increasing. So please, if you're listening on Overcast, take a moment, just hit the little recommend button. That will help us greatly. That's it's the little star key.
Apparently, the qualifier of if you're listening on Overcast is not really necessary anymore because, man, it seems like everybody is, and we love you guys. We appreciate it. If we could get Marco from Overcast on, that'd be amazing. I'd love to talk to him about this.
He won't even, Armar should reach out to that Mar.
Oh, good idea.
That could be a possibility. Mar has she's got some pretty good ways about trying to connect with people that we have not been able to connect with.
Well, that's why she's our executive producer, because she can do the shit that we just can't do. She's amazing.
Oh, hey, if you want to see a picture of Mar and also of Anna, you should now go over to the Turnkey Podcast Company. Wait a minute. What's our website?
Turnkey Podcast.
Yeah, just turnkeypodcast.com. Go to the About page. There is not only the shit-eating grins of me and Strickland on the page, but beautiful Anna and beautiful Mar are also on the page as well.
You
Mar's
can put a face to this voice.
Yes,
focus,
totally.
Guys, focus.
Okay, so that would be on the About page on the turnkeypodcast.com website.
I love that. And by the way, the Canada UK, the UK is crushing Canada right now. UK is now 5.94% of our downloads. Canada is 5.58. So the UK is about a third of a percent ahead. It was really neck and neck, but UK, you guys are you're killing it. Canada, you're falling behind, eh? Come on, get the back bacon out.
Well,
and download the show.
I know we probably pissed off a few of our Canadian listeners last week.
Oh, Pat's in Canada. Pat, you got to tell more friends. I forgot that.
Oh no, not just Pat. Pat's there. But we probably pissed off some of our Canadian friends. I wasn't saying we pissed off Pat. What I was saying was we pissed off the company that test engineer Tom works for. That is, you remember they had a
Canadian
hostile
company
takeover.
bought him out, right?
Hostile takeover. So because of that, test engineer Tom probably was not helping us build our audience because we actually trashed the Canadian company that bought his company. Anyway,
a little bit. Well, but we got test engineer Tom as a listener now, so screw everybody else from that Canadian.
Whenever I hear Canadian, the first thing I think is the guys like Dudley Do-Right that are dressed in their
the Canadian Mounties.
like the Mounties.
Yeah,
is that a normal thought or is that just a?
There's actually a great song from this is like totally random but there's a band called Crack the Sky, and they were they are very popular specifically in the Baltimore area. They started in the 70s and then disappeared and then came back again. They have a song called Rangers at Midnight that's all about being a Canadian Mountie. I'm going to find that on YouTube and put a link to it either in the show notes or up on Facebook. It's a really funny song.
Yeah, because there's for no other reason, why don't we just go ahead and get kicked off of YouTube again? You know that last week's episode was banned from YouTube as well. Yeah, flagged, sorry, banned, whatever, for doing the Girl from Ipanema music with the Blues Brothers.
Nobody listens on YouTube anyway.
I don't know. I've seen a couple of episodes that have like 50 or 60 downloads. I know that's not a lot.
Get out of town, really?
Yeah. We actually have a few of them that were promoted by the person that was on our show to lead them to YouTube because they probably have a YouTube channel too. So they probably shared the content.
I love it.
Hey, Strick, let's see, we did not spin the wheel today. Do we want to do anything before? I mean, we're now 35 or so minutes into the episode.
Why? We're at the beginning of the month. Why don't we do our Patreon shout outs for the month, and then we will wrap it up and do our speed read of the topics. I mean, we could do our speed read of the topics to tease Thursday show and maybe get to topics on Thursday.
Did you see the number of topics that we have? That's like a 10-minute read.
Okay, so maybe we'll wait on the speed read because there's no such thing as a speed read with so many topics.
It's almost like Randy had written the show notes this week for the topics list.
Randy, our show notes, our list of topics is almost longer than your bio, but not.
Hey, the list I gave you, that was brief for me, so I could have written Gone with the Wind. So you need to be thankful for what you got. got. So
yeah, Randy is doing the rewrite of War and Peace. It's actually longer. Kids, if you don't know what that book is, ask your parents. Okay, let's do. What was the plan? What were we gonna do?
Okay, I'm going to do it's the beginning of the month, so we need to give our shout out to our Patreon patrons, which, by the way, if you listen to our bonus show that came out on Sunday, all of our Patreon donations from this past month, from August, we are donating to the help for the relief for Hurricane Harvey. And let me just appreciate the donations.
Let me throw something in there too. So, Nice Guy community, here's what I'm going to do personally out of my own resources. Anything that we do through Patreon that we're able to get as Hurricane Harvey relief that we're going to send to them, I will personally match. So if we have $300 that we are going to raise, I'm going to donate personally out of my own pocket $300. So I personally am going to double whatever it is that the Patreon fans have raised as a part of that. I just think that I haven't done anything. I feel totally horrible that I haven't done anything yet, but yesterday's show is in some way, shape, or form just us trying to promote, obviously, the all of the relief efforts that are going on by great people like Ryan, who have done such a great job with putting some relief effort together. So that's the least that I can do to do this.
Yeah, that was actually our Sunday bonus episode, so that was from 2 days ago.
Oh, 2 days ago. Sorry,
Ryan,
2 days ago.
I can't even believe all the stuff that he has done. I mean, it makes me feel guilty that I haven't done anything, and obviously, geographically, we're nowhere near there, but at the very least, we can certainly donate, some money, which every little bit is helpful. So, thank you guys. We appreciate it. They appreciate it. So we're going to do the shout out.
Yeah, do the Patreon shout out. Then we'll do the speed read, and then we'll move on.
All right, cool. This is the monthly shout out for our Patreon patrons. If you are donating at least $10 a month, we totally appreciate it, and you get a shout out on the show. Our Patreon patrons include Jake Mellon, Patrick Bonner, no relation, Tomas Conifre, Prash Khan, who Doug got to meet just a couple of days ago in person finally, of Mar and Prash.
That dude can eat a storm. Holy crap. I ate with him at a place called Fish Taco right in Cabin John, Maryland. Wow, Prash, slow it down, brother. No, I'm kidding. We had a nice little lunch, and then we took a walk around the block, and we held hands, and we made eyes at each other. What a fucking great guy. Prash, dude. I knew that I was going to like Prash when I met him, just kind of like I knew I was going to like Sean Carpenter when I met him for the first time, although since he was the first one, I did carry a firearm with me at the time. But when I met Prash, totally no firearm was needed. Great guy, a lot shorter than me. Prash, you're definitely a lot taller on camera than you are in person. So
everybody's shorter than you, Doug.
That's very true. Very true. My 6'4" frame does not towers over most people. But Prash,
I'm dying
great
to
meeting
meet
you.
Prash because he's like a big data guy. Right?
Yeah.
If Prash and I meet, we're just going to talk stupid tech crap for hours, and you're just going to be like, I'll just have another beer, I guess. I don't know what you're talking
It's
about.
going to be, you and Prash are probably going to drink a lot and talk about data because that is a hobby that you both have.
I love that. Okay, so we got a few more people. Greg Osterdyke. Stephanie Sersland, Pat Perdue, who again we got to spend a lot of time with at Podcast Movement.
Yay, Pat!
Before last, it was great. Ryan Bocross, who we had a long discussion with on our Sunday episode. Ryan, we love you and we totally appreciate everything that you are doing. And Tom Schwab. I want to talk about Tom Schwab because Tom has actually been a Patreon patron for quite a few months, but he jumped in the category that was like, hey, I don't want any, extras. I don't want any freebies, which you can do that, right? So I wasn't sure if he also didn't want the shout out for his name. So I haven't been saying his name, but we actually met him also at Podcast Movement. And I was like, yo, Tom, man, we totally appreciate the Patreon patronage. Is it okay if we mention? And he's like, sure, yeah. I just didn't want you guys to feel obligated to send me some free shit.
Nice,
so,
nice.
Tom Schwab, sorry this is the first time we're mentioning you, but dude, we totally appreciate it.
Hey, can I make a thank you, everybody that's a Patreon patron. So much, very appreciate your support. I did want to mention that we never came to a conclusion on Patreon with how we're handling the spinners. Now, we still have about 100 spinners left from our visit to Podcast Movement 17 in Anaheim, and we have all these spinners left. And I don't want to have them. I think they should be out in the hands of everybody that is in our community. So
I got an idea.
Okay. I'm ready.
How about we do this?
Let me just say this. I'm going to go with whatever idea you say. I'm not going to debate you.
Are you sure?
Yeah,
I don't
because
want to like lay down the law. You may not like the idea.
Strickland, normally I am a master debater, but in this particular case, I'm not going to debate you. Right, there goes Randy. There he is.
Oh God! Wait a minute. Oh God! I have
Actually, you all missed it. I
it was
snorted
way
earlier.
late on that.
I snorted
go ahead.
earlier.
You snorted earlier?
I did. I'm a snorter, and I did. I was waiting. I was like, oh, they don't know I'm a snorter, and I went. Nobody said anything.
No, I did. I didn't hear you.
Yeah, well, on the playback, you'll hear the snort. So there you go.
Yeah, if you were like squealing like a pig, we might have to mute that out. But a snort, that's no big deal at all. We don't care. It's minor.
Yes, Strickland's usually eating, drinking, burping, everything else that you could possibly imagine as bodily functions that you would do. That's
I was
normally
eating my
snorting is
breakfast
wrong.
right before we hit record.
I know you were. It's
Because
a little
I
irritating,
did
but whatever.
Laura's yoga class this morning.
Oh, how was Laura's yoga class?
It was good. I haven't been in a couple of weeks. I'm a little out of shape, but it was good. There was a lot
Okay,
of people there.
so come back to on topic. Let's not completely go off the rails again. What is your idea about
Focus, guys, focus.
Sorry, Mar. Sorry.
Actually, I've got another one. You ready for this one?
Yeah.
Focus, y'all. Focus.
You know who that
Tim?
is?
Is
Tennessee Tim. Tennessee Tim's version, because it's not focus, guys. Focus, y'all. Focus. I love that.
Hey,
Thanks, Tim.
If anybody wants to leave a focus, guys, focus, feel free to use SpeakPipe for that. Also at DougSandler.com.
Yeah, we need as many listeners saying focus, guys, focus as we possibly can, because obviously we need a lot.
We need all the
freaking
focus. Yeah. All right. What's your idea, Strick?
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. My computer is apparently, my battery is low. I thought I was plugged in. Talk for a minute. I'll be right
Oh,
there.
Jesus. See, Randy, this is the professionalism that the show has done. Hey, how would somebody like, I don't know, like Aaron Brockovich or give me an A-lister that you like, Aaron, that you've chatted with, even one of the posts.
Peggy Post from the Emily Post Institute, and I know
how would
Peggy's going
Peggy
to come in. And I know.
How would she feel though about the mess that we have created here? You can't let them listen to the show before they come on. You know that, right?
No, she's so like I would joke. There's no animated bird circling her head. She's actually an incredibly normal human being. Now I will tell you, and she's my girlfriend. I love Erin Brockovich, and we've stayed in touch. And she is so on my short list. But I told you, I said, now that if Aaron says yes and does the show, it will be 2 hours. I mean, this is me and Aaron. So we're both from the Midwest, and we both have a lot to say. So you just kind of need to know.
Oh my gosh! Well, yeah, those will be the bone. We'll call those the Tim Ferriss episodes. Because that's about the length of it. But when somebody, let me ask this, because when somebody like Emily Post comes on the show.
Well, Emily's been dead for quite some time, so that's going to be a little bit of a challenge.
I'm sorry.
I'll work on it, though. I'll work on it.
I meant Peggy. When somebody like Peggy comes on the show and you're trying to promote the upcoming episode, obviously we know, I mean, Strick and I know you know this too, we're not going to drop the F-bomb on the episode that she's on, but how does she feel about, if we say something that's not completely in color in an episode before or after she comes on?
To her, etiquette is making other people feel comfortable. I think it'd be inappropriate for, I mean, I'm cautious around her and what I say, but of course, if you listen to the episode, you'll hear that I've also cussed in front of her the last episode. Peggy expects people to be human. She really is an incredibly unpretentious person, and she really, truly judges people by their heart. And I think the nice guys both have incredibly big hearts.
Oh, thanks.
You obviously haven't listened to very many episodes yet, Randy.
And I also realize that is now a sound clip that Strick is going to pull out.
Oh, yeah, it's a good one. I got to save that.
I missed the bite. What's the bite?
No, the nice guys we have incredibly big hearts.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's
That's
a sound bite for you guys.
Yeah, I like
okay,
it.
We'll take it. I like it.
Anyway, so where was I?
You're talking about the spinners.
Okay, here's what I think we should do with spinners. Okay, anybody who is a Patreon patron, reach out to us however you want, either through Patreon or email or call us or whatever. Tell us you want one. Leave us your address. We'll send you one. How's that sound?
That
Anybody
sounds
who wants
amazing.
one. Again, we would appreciate, we appreciate the Patreon patronage. Like, we're not going to beg for it, but, it's going to cost us. We got our spinners and we have to pay for the shipping and everything. So we don't care what level you're at. Just like, show us that you care, and then drop us an email or call and leave us your address, and we'll send you a spinner if you want one.
I
Really cool.
love this plan. I think this is an excellent plan. There's no debating. There's no any of that. There's just let's just get it done. I love this.
And we're not sending them out free for people that are like, I hate those fucking spinners. I don't want one. If you want it, just tell us. We'll send it to you.
Right.
I'm still stuck on we're not begging. Why are we not begging? I'm okay with the begging.
You know what it is? Because I think, Randy, we really do find one of the messages that I got loud and clear in sitting in one of the sessions, and I did go to the session at Podcast Movement in Anaheim about Patreon. And one of the things that they told us is do not beg for this. The people that want to participate and support the show will support, even if they have to work around to figure out how, even if you're not on Patreon, they want to support the show. Don't beg people. It's just the time they said about, what was that number that I said, Strick?
Well, you
1%?
see, and that, right, that was the thing. I think and I was nervous. Okay. A lot of times we beg because we're like, we get an average of 3,500 to 4,000 downloads an episode, right?
Right,
and we right now have 23 Patreon patrons. It's
Right.
like, come on, people, it sounds terrible. Well, at this Patreon conference, they said,
that's
you
right.
should expect 1/3 to 1/2 of 1%.
1%,
of your listeners
right.
to download. And you know what? That's right where we are. And so we are not going to beg. And anybody who's listening and not donating, it's cool. We want you to appreciate it, and we want you to be entertained, but we're not going to beg anymore. We don't feel bad. Yeah.
I mean, Randy can beg if he wants to, but that's just his
Well,
style.
how do you
so
think
he'll
I got
beg.
these interviews? That was a lot of begging. That was a lot of begging and a whole lot of sucking up, let me tell you.
I am 100% sure that there was a lot of all of those things going on because I think what happens is, you really want people to be a part of. You feel like you have this amazing avenue, like you did. What was the paper? The Naples. What is it?
It was the Naples Daily News that really gave me space, but I was the lone wolf writer, man. I did
looking
it
for the
all,
book.
So yeah.
I mean, if somebody said to me, "I want to put you in my book," I would be thinking, hell yeah, that would be really cool. I mean, this is a legit book. I mean, you don't know what the book's going to look like and feel like when it comes out, but this is like 365 pages of awesome. I think it's 371 pages of awesome. I would say 365
It's not
are
quite
awesome.
as long as Gone with the Wind. The next book, I'm actually going to surpass Margaret Mitchell's Gone with the Wind length, just so you know. That's what I'm going
Jeez,
for.
are you working on your next book already?
Actually, I'm working on fiction.
Oh,
I'm actually,
cool.
I'm taking some concepts from this book, and I'm working on a fiction project because I actually don't know how to write. We quickly discovered, the agent I'm working with said, Randy, you don't know how to write fiction. I went, gee, you think? And so the storyline that I have has been really well received, and I have a co-author coming in to write it in a fiction format with me. And yeah, that's pretty cool. It's
I got to
fun.
tell you, as nice as Randy is on this show, and in the interviews that I've done with him, he typically plays a complete asshole on whatever part that he is playing.
Always plays a complete asshole. Yeah,
right. And sometimes even dressed like a guy, but most of the time in drag.
No. We would flip that, and oh my God, I mean, my poor 85-year-old father in Missouri, because I just did Jane in a spoof on stage of whatever happened to Baby Jane. Well, I'm built like a football player. I mean, it's not like I was a little girl. But as a comedian, when they call you up and say, hey, you want to put on a dress and play a homicidal maniac in a blonde curly wig and a bad dress, you're going to say yes. You just
Oh,
are.
God, yes.
It was ridiculous. I never got better reviews in my entire life. It was ridiculously fun. But I called my dad because he lives in Missouri, and he didn't see the show. And I sent all the reviews and all the pictures and stuff. And I said, Dad, did you get all the stuff I sent you? And he said, yeah, I did. And I said, well, I'm a pretty ugly woman. He said, well, you were about as ugly as they come. So,
yeah, you did. You do play a pretty you are a pretty ugly woman. I mean, I must say that. I mean, for as good looking a guy you are, you're just that ugly a woman. And I'm just trying to figure out how they even could envision you as somebody that was ever going to put on a dress. I mean, it's kind of like the Milton Berle of newness.
Oh God, it's not the first time I've done it, man. No, I actually did Roger Debris and the Producers. Have anybody seen the Producers?
Yeah.
Again, comedically, you just don't say no to that.
Right.
And that's actually where I met Cynthia Rhodes from Dirty Dancing.
Wow.
But well, you tell. Okay, no, actually, no, Eddie Mecca, Carmine from Laverne and Shirley came to see me as Roger Debris and the Producers because we'd met, and I'm like, I'm in a dress, getting ready to go on stage, and I'm thinking, really, did I ever think Carmine was going to see me on stage, and now I'm in a dress? But no, Cynthia Rhodes, my a friend of mine is her best friend, and she brought Cynthia to see me as the monster and Young Frankenstein. And let me tell you, when you're in 6-inch, boots and you're 6'8" and you're green and you're doing bad tap dancing in front of one of the most famous dancers from the 80s, that'll get in your head. That was a pretty wild experience, dude.
This is going to be good stuff to have Randy on the show, and it's going to be good to have you add your contribution to the interview side of things. I'm certainly glad, happy for the help, all the help that I could possibly use in evening out some of my schedule as well. So thanks, Randy, for being a part of the show.
Thrilled to do it. Very honored, and thank you for asking.
All right,
Are we going to wrap this thing up now?
Yeah, let's wrap it up. We're already 45 minutes in. I'm sure our people are now sitting in their office parking lot waiting to go in because they finished with their commute, and they're like, fuck, guys, you normally are 30 minutes. Focus, guys. Let's get this a little bit, tighten it up a little, like the national parks.
Turn your car off, get into the office, and we will see you again tomorrow. Thank you guys so much. Steve O'Brien, go ahead and take us out of here.
For the Nice Guys on Business, I'm Steve O'Brien. Fill up your week with the Nice Guys. Side effects may include tingling, numbness, urinary incontinence, the need to watch the Kardashians. If you have an erection for more than 3 hours, call your friends to brag. The Nice Guys on Business is not for everyone. Consult your physician before usage.
I was going to say, you all shoot from the hip all the time anyway. So
okay.
That's pretty much
well,
do,
it's almost like I feel like I have to be prepared because Randy's here, and I'm like, fuck that. I don't really have to be prepared because Randy's here. I just have to do the show like we normally do it.
Strick, Randy does like preparation. He's actually being very kind to me right now. I'm a little bit. I'm so type A that there's a letter prior to A that I qualify as. So he's being very polite to my comfort zone. He's afraid that I'm here popping Xanax.
No, let's just roll. Just introduce Randy right at the top. That's fine. I need his personality in from the very beginning, and I can't seem to find a reason why I need to keep him off side stage. Let's just get him right on there right now, and then we'll figure out why is Randy even here. All right, just hit record. We're ready. We're ready to go.
We can do that. No,
Okay.
I'm recording.
All right,
it's all good.
Fired up whenever you're set. Do the intro, and then let's do it.
Okay. This is Tuesday, right?
This is Tuesday's episode.
That'll do, Nice Guys. That'll do.